You think your brain is your friend, but at 2 a.m., it's a hostage negotiator who refuses to talk to the police. You were told that sleep is a passive recharge, a simple battery filling exercise. What they didn't mention is that your mind is actually a nightclub that only starts its best sets when the lights go out and the world stops demanding your productivity. Let's get right into it. Number 7. The Midnight Architect. You've been there. It's well past midnight. The world is silent, and suddenly, you are the smartest, most ambitious person alive. You're lying under your duvet, staring at the ceiling, and sketching out a 5-year plan to learn Mandarin, start a side hustle, and finally organize your tax returns. You were told this burst of inspiration is your true potential, showing itself in the quiet. What they didn't mention is that your brain is actually performing a cheap magic trick. In the safety of the dark, where you can't actually do anything, your brain loves to indulge in the fantasy of being productive without the messy requirement of actually working. It's a low-stakes simulation. Your dopamine system is like a toddler with a credit card, buying up imaginary stock in a version of you that doesn't exist. This was never really about your ambition. It was about providing a hit of future success chemicals to distract you from the fact that you're just a tired mammal who needs to close its eyes. Your brain wants the comfort of a grand plan, not the truth of tomorrow's inevitable alarm clock. It's easier to be a genius in your head than a functional human at 9 a.m. You aren't a late-night visionary. You're just a victim of a biological bait and switch, building a mansion of cards in a room with no wind. Your brain is effectively a hype man for a concert that will be canceled the moment the sun rises. Number 6. The Ancestral Night Watchman. If you think your inability to sleep is a modern defect, you've been lied to. You were told that humans are diurnal creatures who naturally sleep through the night in one solid block. The reality is that your brain is still running software designed for a time when being too relaxed meant being a snack for a leopard. At 2 a.m., your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that understands spreadsheets and taxes, goes offline, leaving the amygdala in charge. This is the night watchman syndrome. Your brain perceives the silence of your bedroom as a threat. Why is it so quiet? Why aren't the other humans making noise? Your nervous system decides to keep you in a state of hypervigilance, scanning for predators that haven't existed for 10,000 years. Instead of a saber-toothed tiger, your brain finds the next best thing. That weird sound your fridge made or the existential dread of your mounting debt. You are trapped in an evolutionary leftover, a survival mechanism that is now misfiring in a world of memory foam mattresses and double-glazed windows. Your brain isn't broken, it's just trying to save you from a ghost that died in the Pleistocene. It treats your bedroom like a battlefield and your pillow like a trench, proving that your biology would rather you be a paranoid wreck than a well-rested corpse. It's the ultimate irony. Your survival instinct is currently killing your ability to function. Number 5. The digital slot machine. You were told that your phone is a tool for connection, a way to wind down before the lights go out. What they didn't mention is that every swipe is a microdose of neurological gambling that rewires your brain to fear silence. When you lie in bed and just check one more thing, you are inviting 1,000 screaming voices into your sanctuary. Your brain, already primed for alertness, latches onto the blue light and the infinite scroll like a drowning man to a life raft. This isn't just about blue light affecting your melatonin, it's about the psychological open loop. Every unread notification, every half-watched video, and every spicy take on social media creates a mental tab that your brain refuses to close. Your dopamine system is addicted to the maybe the next post will be funny. Maybe the next email will be good news. It's a slot machine that pays out in distraction and you're the sucker sitting at the cabinet until the sun comes up. By the time you finally put the phone down, your mind is vibrating at a frequency that makes sleep impossible. You've replaced the natural transition to darkness with a high-definition strobe light of other people's lives. Your brain wants the cheap comfort of the scroll, not the difficult truth of its own emptiness. You're not catching up on the world. You're paying a premium insanity to fund a tech giant's engagement metrics. Number 4. The Moral Accountant. Why is it that at 2 a.m. your brain decides to pull out the ledger of every social sin you've committed since the 3rd grade? You were told that reflection is a healthy part of growth, a way to learn from your mistakes. What they didn't mention is that your brain is a sadistic librarian who only keeps the horror and embarrassment section open after midnight. This is social survival psychology gone rogue. To your primitive brain, being cringe or socially awkward isn't just a minor faux pas, it's a death sentence. In the wild, being rejected by the tribe meant you died alone in the cold. So your brain replays that time you called your teacher mom, or the way you stumbled over your words in a meeting 3 years ago to ensure you never do it again. It's an audit of your social worthiness conducted by an examiner who hates you. You're lying there, sweating over a conversation that the other person forgot 5 seconds after it happened. This was never really about self-improvement. It was about control through shame. Your brain wants to keep you small and safe within the boundaries of the herd, even if the herd is fast asleep and doesn't care about your existence. You are being held hostage by a version of yourself that doesn't understand that most people are too busy worrying about their own cringe archives to remember yours. Your mind is a courtroom where you are the defendant, the prosecutor, and the hanging judge. Number 3. The emotional debt collector. Modern life is a masterpiece of distraction. You were told that being busy is a badge of honor, a sign of a life well lived. What they didn't mention is that busyness is the world's most popular anesthetic. From the moment you wake up, you're drowning in podcasts, music, work, and errands. You never give your emotions a chance to sit at the table. But emotions are like debt. You can ignore the bills for a while, but the interest keeps compounding. When the lights go out and the noise stops, the debt collector finally knocks. That's why the 2 a.m. curse feels so heavy. It's not just random thoughts. It's the accumulated grief, frustration, and fear you pushed aside during the day because you had a deadline. Your brain is finally forced to process the backlog of your life because you've run out of ways to ignore yourself. This was never about the caffeine you drank at 4 p.m. It was about the conversation you didn't have with your partner or the career path you're too scared to leave. Your brain wants the comfort of the to-do list, but the night demands the truth of the to-feel list. You are essentially trying to outrun your own shadow, only to find it waiting for you under the covers. Every unexamined feeling is a ghost that only learns to speak in the dark, and tonight they're all screaming at once. Number 2. The illusion of productive worry. You were told that planning for the worst is a sign of a responsible adult. What they didn't mention is that worrying is just a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. At 2 a.m., your brain falls into the cognitive efficiency trap. It believes that by cycling through every possible disaster, from losing your job to the eventual heat death of the universe, it is somehow preparing you. It's not. It's just burning through your glycogen stores while you remain paralyzed in bed. Your brain convinces you that if you stop worrying, the bad thing will actually happen. It's a form of magical thinking. If I feel miserable enough now, I'm paying an insurance premium against future pain. This is a lie. This was never really about solving problems. It was about managing the feeling of helplessness. Your brain wants comfort, not truth. And strangely, the action of worrying feels more comfortable than the inaction of uncertainty. You're staring at the wall, simulating 1,000 tragedies that will likely never occur, while the very real tragedy of your sleep deprivation is unfolding in real time. You are a pilot trying to fly a plane in a simulator while the actual plane is crashing, because the pilot is too busy playing the game. Your anxiety is a parasite that feeds on your need for certainty, convincing you that thinking about it is the same as fixing it. Number 1. The unmasking of the ego. The ultimate reason your brain won't shut up is the most uncomfortable truth of all. You are terrified of who you are when you aren't doing something. You were told that your identity is your job, your hobbies, your social standing, and your daily routine. What they didn't mention is that all of those things are just costumes you wear to hide the void. At 2 a.m., the costumes are in the closet. There is no one to impress, no task to complete, and no role to play. There is just the raw, unvarnished you in the silence. And for most of us, that you is a stranger we've spent our whole lives avoiding. Your brain generates a constant stream of chatter, the 2 a.m. curse, because the alternative is to face the existential silence. We use our thoughts as a shield against the realization that we are small, temporary, and often deeply confused. Your brain wants the comfort of noise because the truth of the silence is too heavy to bear. This was never about your insomnia. It was about your refusal to be alone with yourself. You are keeping the internal TV on at full volume because you're afraid of what you might hear if it were turned off. The curse isn't that you can't sleep, it's that you can't exist without a distraction. Until you can sit in the dark and not feel the need to argue with your own shadow, the night will always be a battlefield. You aren't being haunted by your thoughts. You are using your thoughts to haunt yourself so you don't have to face the quiet. The 2 a.m. curse isn't a glitch in your biology. It's a mirror held up to the frantic, distracted, and avoidant way we live our lives. You've been lied to about the nature of rest, led to believe it's a switch you can flip, rather than a state of peace you have to earn by facing yourself during the day. The brain is a master of redirection, turning your bed into a courtroom, a battlefield, or a theater of the absurd just to keep you from the terrifying simplicity of just being. True sleep doesn't come from a pill or a perfect pillow. It comes from the brutal honesty of acknowledging that your 2 a.m. self is just the parts of you that you've been neglecting since sunrise. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.